Hello everybody, we are back in Planet Zoo today. We've got another video for you today where it's something something a little bit different. So instead of creating a habitat, I did something different and I made a building with the focal point and making the focus on this actual building. For the foliage in the game, there's a lot of people who don't really care about the foliage in this game, but for me I think the foliage has been done really well by Frontier and Planet Zoo, and I wanted to showcase that. Basically, I wanted to create a building what showcased the different variants of foliage. I think we end up going with tropical foliage actually, and make that like the main focus of something, and a bit of education as well. We do actually end up throwing 2 exhibits into this building, what I've named Eden Greenhouse. Hope you like the name. To be honest with you, I didn't really know what to call it, and that's the best I could come up with. So yeah, the main focus was to display and to educate people on different plants and different plant variants, especially in the tropical biome. And we did that, and I think we pulled it off quite well, and I wanted to create some kind of like greenhouse here. So I do end up adding a lot of windows and a lot of glass, as you can see me currently doing here. So I'm trying to add the roof and add the actual walls and the exterior of this building first before we focus on the inside. And it's somewhat what I never really do. I always like to focus on the inside of a building first rather than the outside, and the reason for that is just so you can see better. But really, I didn't know how this building was going to come out. I had no reference images, I had no inspiration from anything. I literally thought, right, I want to build a greenhouse, I want to display the foliage in this game and make that a main attraction for our guest. Add a couple exhibits in, and so that's what I went with, and I just kind of just went with it and went with the flow with this one, not knowing how it would turn out looking. But I think it turned out looking alright. You'll see towards the end how it will turn out looking. If you want this before the video goes any further, you can get this on my Steam Workshop page. Many of you probably who watch my videos follow my Steam Workshop page, but if you don't, pretty much everything I build in my YouTube videos will be on my Steam Workshop page for you to download and have in your own zoos, or just to download and rip apart to see what building pieces I've actually used, or things what I've not explained in the videos you will get to see if you put them in your own zoos, and just see, I inspect them and see what building pieces I've used and how I've gone about building certain things. So you can see that our structure is actually nearly complete now. Our windows are in place, and I used these plaster pieces, recolored them to like a like a dark grey, kind of modern. This building did come out really modern, and I'm back to building modern stuff. I've always enjoyed building modern stuff in Planet Zoo, more so than actually building anything what looks realistic. I don't know what it is, it's just something I've always enjoyed doing. Flooring's just going down in the building, just used the simple plaster pieces and coloured them to white. The roof is on. I ended up taking that roof bit apart. We do end up adding a bit of detailing, so let's take a look. Detailing, I went with these like wooden planks, I think they're called. I just recolored them. These are brilliant, they're so versatile, and I used them as like kind of like shutters, so to give the impression that electronically controlled shutters can be used to either close down this greenhouse or reopen this greenhouse to fresh air. And we did this at the front, as you can see here, and the 2 circles at the front, like 2 little windows, and we ended up doing it on the roof as well. And you can see that I'm just doing that now, and I'm just turning them slightly so it looks like they're open. Instead of having them all straight, I turned them so it looks like they've been controlled to be on the setting of open. Again, even though this is quite a modern kind of, would you say, futuristic build, I still wanted to keep things quite realistic and as if they would function in real life, if this building was in real life. So yeah, I think I pulled that off as well. You can see me just lining everything up here, and honestly, once you've done one side, I always say it's so easy to do the other side. Just select them, copy it, duplicate over, advanced move, and boom, you've completed the other side of the building. And then at the front here, I decided to start off with the actual main focal point of this building, that was foliage. So I ended up adding a bit of mulch, as you can see, raise that up so it looks like a little flower bed, and then I add a little bit of tropical foliage in, and it just makes the front of the building stand out, and it gives that impression of what this building is about before you even enter it. You can see the doorway there to the left as well, so as soon as our guests going into the building, they will see this lovely little like flower bed arrangement with some tropical plants in it. By the way, if you're enjoying this building, can't talk today, if you're enjoying this video and you're enjoying this creation I've done, then hit that like button, I really do appreciate it. Drop a comment, I always reply to every comment on my YouTube channel. All my social links are down in the description below, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, blah blah blah, you know the deal. Everything you want to find is in the description below, including the Steam Workshop page to download this if you want it. You can see me just adding some more detailing now, and I did that with these wooden beams. Again, such a universal and just a brilliant piece to use in any creation, because they're recolorable, there's different sizes, and it just adds that little bit more detailing, what makes buildings or habitats in fact really stand out, and you know, makes them very eye-catching. That's kept with the same color scheme, kind of like white, grey and brown, so we've changed the color to brown, and again just adding more detail and across the front of the actual entrance here, and again I just kind of went with it. I didn't really have a plan, but I think it does come out looking okay. I don't end up adding an actual sign. I think it looked a bit cluttered. I did try it out, I cut it out of the video. I was gonna, you know, put Eden Garden or Eden Greenhouse on the front of the building, but it just looked too cluttered, so I got rid of it and I didn't bother. I think it looks pretty decent without it. And now to the roof, and again with the detailing. Honestly, this game, the reason for this build really is to display the foliage, but anything you create in Planet Zoo, if you add foliage and detailing like you see me doing here on the roof, it will just make any habitat, any zoo, any building just absolutely come alive. It really will make a difference. Even if you're not the best of builders, I know I'm not the best of builders, I'm half decent, I've got about 1,000 hours played in Planet Zoo, I know what I'm doing. But even if you're not the best builder, just add a load of foliage, add a load of little details what you would find in real life, like you see me doing here, so pipes, aircon units, vents, stuff like that, and it really will make any building, what might look mediocre at first, really come to life and look really decent. And yeah, I didn't go over the top, I kept it quite simple, just making it look like we've got some pipe work on the roof and some aircon units and some vents, and just making everything look a bit more realistic really. And then back to the front of the building, where I created kind of like a little canopy area, like a little sheltered area under that, like a little archway at the front door, just to give, you know, again a bit more an aesthetic feel and a bit more of a, you know, making the build stand out. Again, same kind of planks I've used, same kind of wood beams I've used, just giving everything, you know, making sure everything sits and fits in and suits the color scheme. And yeah, I was really happy with it, and again, it's just little details like this what really make any creation stand out. Now, I think we need to, after finishing this, we need to take a quick look of, well, how everything came out looking and what I actually ended up doing with the roof. And you can see me doing this here. And this is something what I've done in a couple of builds. If you follow this channel and you've been a subscriber for a while, I did a Kango, it was for charity. I did a Kango wildlife ranch, kind of like cheetah habitat, and this is the same effect I used for there really. Again, just bringing the habitat alive. Remember, it is about plants, so let's take a look at some plants. And for the plant situation on the inside of the building, I created this little like flower bed, would you call it, slash growing area. So I wanted to give the impression that inside of this greenhouse we are growing plants using the source of the LED lights. And I did this by just adding the thinnest piece of mulch I could find, added a couple of the same foliage items in, and then building kind of like a flower bed with these same planks in the same colours around the actual flower bed and around the mulch and around the foliage. And then I wanted to plant these onto the wall and have an LED above them to look like we are growing plants inside our greenhouse here. And I was really happy I went with this decision. It really come out looking good, and we had quite a lot actually. You can see me just adding the actual beam what the LED light will stand on here. And yeah, we ended up adding about 4 or 5 onto the walls, which we'll take a look at in just a second. So let's zoom in and let's get this into place. As you can see me doing here, we just duplicate it over again. Once you've got one set, add it as a group it together, and then you can just duplicate it over. It makes life so much easier, and that's pretty much how it looks. As you can see, just adding a couple of other plant pots here just because I thought this bottom space was a little bit empty, and then we duplicate it all together, rotate it, and just bang it on the other wall. Simple but effective, and it comes out looking pretty good. Now for this main area, I wanted to add some actual exhibits, and let's have a look at the end result. Fast forward a little bit, and this is what we came out with. As you can see, a lot of foliage, a little fountain was created in the center, some more flower beds around the center. At night time, it absolutely glows and lights up and looks like it's full of energy. You can see them LED lights above the plants, giving that like appeal, like we are growing them, and that more realistic. I created a little path around the outside. As you can see here, the exhibits are in, the education boards are in, and we're ready for our guests. We've also got benches there also. Let's take a quick look at nighttime as well. Again, I'm really happy with this build, and if you want to have this build for yourself, links are in the description. Now we need to get the guest in. Our exhibit animals are in. I think we went with the beetle and a spy and a centipede, sorry. And this is what the outside came out looking. Again, not much has changed from the speed build segments. My name's Adam. I hope you have a wonderful day. If you're new around here, feel free to subscribe, hit that like button, and I will catch you in the new and next Planet Zoo video. Have a good day. Peace out.